2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Myre or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Just before we came back to work this year, I was up in Cairns for the week, visiting my old man, and we went out fishing. We went out fishing one day. I took Archie up with me, so I'm a 13-year-old, and we went out to the reef, right out, which I haven't done a lot of fishing off Cairns, but it was good to go out there. And there was me on the boat. There was my old man, me, Archie, and Phil.
Who's Phil?
Oh, he's my brother-in-law, okay, who lives up in Cairns. So the 4 of us on the boat had a great couple of days. On the final day that we were out there, there was a huge thunderstorm that you could see brewing. So we're like probably, 40, 50K off the coast of Cairns. And we could we could see this storm starting to build up.
Scary. Lucky you had your dad there.
Yeah, that's right,
Daddy.
And get us home. But anyway, so like at about 2 o'clock we could see it, and you could see it sort of working its way up the coastline. And we went, oh, you know what? Because the water was still.
You know what?
If we took off
And
now,
that's when the fish bite too.
well, we'd had a good day fishing.
Usually.
Yeah, there's a lot of science around that as well with the fish.
What, the calm before a storm?
Yeah, like that. What's it called? The pressure, the
Barometric
barometric pressure.
Barometric pressure.
Something with
Could get.
How do I get that? I
is
don't even know what it means.
Yeah, is aligned with the fish coming on the bite.
I know, mate. Yeah.
Anyway, we said, listen, if we make a run for it now, we've had a good day, we'll get in before that storm hits. And the water was, at that point, the water was glass. So we are fanging it back into shore. The day's over. Archie's lying on a bean bag, like up the front of the boat. He's sleeping, and it was just like, it was magic.
Bliss.
And we're probably about 40 minutes from getting back to the boat ramp, and the storm's continuing to come up. We're like, we're going to time this perfectly. Like, we couldn't believe how smart we were that we're going to pull in. We'll get the boat back on the trailer, and
all hell will break loose,
and we won't get wet at all. And then we went past this one boat, and they've got all their hands out, like me signalling you in before for smarter than who, Nikki.
Yes.
They've got their arms up, they're waving.
The danger arms.
Yes, and we could see them, and we went, oh, they're calling
You're
us
waving
over.
back, going, hey.
Yeah, well, initially we were. Initially we were waving
ho.
back, hey, go, hey, having a good day. And they went, no, that's not a happy wave. That's a distress wave. They're in trouble.
Oh, no.
They're broken down. We have to stop.
You're going to have to help
Oh,
someone.
no. No.
Is it frowned upon just to keep going?
Yeah. Well, we were talking
Look the other way.
We were talking about it later because when the storm hit, we were like, if we had have just driven past, but that, like, you wouldn't have slept well that night. You know what I mean? So we've gone over to these guys.
I was half joking.
And sure enough, we've gone.
Half.
Yeah, well, it does cross your mind, doesn't it? Because you don't know what you're getting into. And we've
You just don't want to be watching the news in the morning.
Yeah.
We've gone over to them, and sure enough,
3 missing.
Yeah.
how are you? What's going on? Boat's broken.
Storm's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, we know, mate. Yeah.
The guy goes, we tried to ring Coast Guard for a tow, but they need money to tow us back in. The donation. Well, and I was kind of thinking, well,
Donate.
Well, wouldn't you gladly donate if like people
Was
came
it a
out?
gold coin?
Yes.
What's the problem here?
So long story short, we go. Do you need a tow? We'll have to give you a tow. They actually said, can you give us a tow? And we're like, oh, okay. Have you got a tow line? No, they don't have a tow line. Luckily, we had everything they needed. We
That's a good point. Just say, we know we need a donation as
Yeah,
well.
we've put, and next thing you know, we're towing
So
them in.
what, did you have a rope or something?
We had the ropes on board. We towed her up, and we're saving the day for these
Yeah.
guys. And then the storm hit. It was 20 minutes of stuffing around, and then it took us what was going to take us 40 minutes. It now took us 2.5 hours to tow. And we copped this storm. And the thing that really annoyed me is we're in a centre console boat that's just got the smallest little canopy over the top.
They have cover.
Oh, they're got a cabin. So there
it.
was 4 of them on the boat.
Should have switched.
There's 4. We should have switched.
Should have switched.
There's 4 of them on the boat sitting in the cabin as we're towing them along, and now the wind's choppy, and it's piercing down like pelting
I'm just
down
thinking about
rain.
your wet bean bag.
Yeah, the beanbag.
The beanbag was. We were huddled all together, and someone pulled out a bag of grapes, and we sat there in the rain eating these grapes for like 2.5 hours. And I know it was cans, but it was cold.
They're having toasted marshmallows back in the cabin.
It was actually cold, and we started thinking to ourselves. I said, what are these guys going to give us when we drop them off? Yeah. Like, how good would it be?
You've earned it.
How good would it be if this bloke said, "Oh, listen, I own the best steak restaurant in town." And we started having
I think the Coast Guard have already worked that out, though. They got nothing.
Yeah, well, we've said, oh, wonder what they're going to do.
It's going to be good.
We towed them. Not only did we towed them straight back to the boat ramp that they were going to, and Phil just manoeuvred the towing brilliantly, that literally their boat just floated up to the dock, like of the ramp that they had their trailer at. Then we put our boat on the trailer. It happened to be the same ramp. Yeah. The guy comes over and he goes, listen, I can't thank you enough. I'm going to give you this carton of beer. And I'm like, I don't even drink, but I'm like, well, I'm not from here, but Phil and the old man, they live here, so but give it to them. That was a month ago. Right? He hasn't delivered. He's just this bloke's just vanished. Look, Lutzy, we towed him for 2.5 hours through a storm, dropped him off at his boat ramp, and not only that, the other 3 people, when they got out of the boat dry, we are soaked at the ramp. Like we're soaked and freezing at the ramp. They hop out. Only one of them came over to say thank you.
That's disgraceful. That's karma.
What is wrong with these people? Mind you, even the Coast Guard knew that. Like, they were happy to leave them bobbing for dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They
the Coast
knew.
Guard knew.
He's probably notorious. He's probably so tight he doesn't put enough fuel in.
Yeah,
his
that's
tank.
exactly right. He
Some
puts half his
unsuspecting
tank in.
poor bastard will drive me in.
The Ash, Lutzy and Nikki Osborne podcast.
There's always a chance that when you're at a work function, you could do something a bit silly that could come up and get you in a bit of trouble the next day.
Well, I mean, statistically, I reckon in a work environment, Christmas parties, that sort of thing, would be pound for pound the most sacked, reportable thing, right?
Yeah, it's dangerous
Visits to
territory.
HR the next morning.
You had booze, obviously booze, and
Yeah, my manager literally called me yesterday before the party. He said, "Don't, Nikki, just have a couple, be polite, just don't say what you want to say, just ignore all your natural impulses."
Has there been issues previously? It sounds like for
No, he just
public
wanted
function.
to make sure.
for AT to call you on that sort of business, that maybe AT knows.
I
some
know,
stuff
calling the kettle black with my manager.
Yeah, he's a Lucian. I've seen him do stuff. I'm going to ring him today and go, mate,
He knows
this
the
weekend,
game.
just pull it in.
But anyway, yeah, so I was on my best behaviour last night because, I do tend to have no filter. In fact, it's a miracle I'm still here on radio.
It's been 3 weeks.
6.
6, is it?
6
weeks.
6 weeks is
Not that I'm counting every sleep that I'm not getting. But, what was I saying? Yeah, because, loose lips sink ships. And, as we've learnt this week, anything can happen. You can just say one thing and then you're in a lot of trouble. And it's happened to me before. I was on a breakfast television. I used to have a weekly gig on Channel 9 where I would be brought in for commentary on topics of the week.
Oh, yeah. Do they just get in touch with you before and go, this is what the topics are? Like, you don't choose the topics, do you?
You find out when you're in hair and makeup. So usually it's about half an hour before. So you just kind of... It's different to here, where it's happening live.
A split screen stitch, or was it just and Nikki Osborne is on the Sunshine Coast. Nikki, make some sense of this crazy news this morning.
No, pretty much, but I was in Melbourne, so I was in Melbourne at the time. Anyway, there was one, I was getting more and more comfortable with the job, and I was always like, just push it a little bit further. And then one morning we were talking about, the topic was, they'd done a survey whether pajamas or lingerie was considered sexier on your missus or your girlfriend, and people were saying that PJs are sexier. Anyway...
Can I say something about that?
I'd run with that.
Yes.
It depends on the PJs.
Oh.
But yeah, I could put together an argument for that.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, this was my argument. Hit it, Mitch.
Nikki, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my husband always says you don't look at the turkey when you're stuffing it, so that's his opinion.
What does that even mean?
I'm with... I won't explain it, but...
Oh, I wish you hadn't explained it. I wish you had
David Campbell.
Who was it? Was that
That was
David
David
Campbell?
Campbell. What does that even mean?
And
Let
Sonia
me tell you exactly
Kruger.
what it means, David.
So, the turkey's here, right? That's hilarious.
So I'm the turkey.
But I'm fine with that, because if you're
It's innuendo. It's fine.
yeah, like if there was kids listening, they were. It's not as if you're not swearing.
No, they're like, oh,
No,
she's
it's
talking
like-
about
Yeah,
Christmas.
Mum, what is that? Oh, I still mean eating turkey at Christmas. Exactly. You can get out of that as a parent, right?
And that's like my thing. That's my superpower. is
No, that's brilliant.
Double
Yeah.
entendres.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gone so fast.
Oh, was that it?
Is that it?
Yeah. I
Oh,
was just
was
gone.
Was that the last rodeo?
That was the last rodeo. I'd been cut off air the week before, so I was already on a warning.
I'm blaming Campbell for that. The way he reacted, he's come off set and gone. What was that?
Yeah.
Disgustingness.
We don't need no, but also who hired you? Because wouldn't it have come up on the banner, Nikki Osborne, comedian?
Yeah.
And then afterwards they've gone, well, that was no good. She was making fun of that.
She was
yeah.
laughing.
She wasn't
making
taking
people
it
laugh.
seriously.
And I distinctly remember in the interview process, they said, we want someone who pushes the boundaries, doesn't sit on the fence,
Well,
goes
that's what they
hard.
picture, right?
There I am, and off I go.
Yeah.
So, yes. Anyway, I was wanting to hear from our listeners if they've ever been fired for an amusing offence. I don't want to hear anything nasty. I just want to hear if you've done something a bit silly or a bit weird. And
weird ways you got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
weird
funny ways you've
ways.
been fired
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. That's cool.
what sent you packing out of the building?
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Silly stuff you got fired for.
Oh, yes. All right. Let's get straight into it. We've got Stacey from Kalanga. What got you the sack?
Good morning. Well, I just had enough after 18 years being at the place. I got denied going to have a holiday. They said I wasn't allowed.
Oh,
And-
well, it's only been 18 years, Stacey. Come
Yeah.
on, that's a big ask.
I know, right?
Greedy.
So I called them bluff, and I was like, "Well, I quit. I don't want to be here anymore." I just walked kind of out, and I was like, "Did I just did I quit or
actually
did I get fired?" Yeah, and so yeah, I had enough, and I just left and went to something totally different, like tourism, and yeah, good decision.
Oh,
Best
right. So
decision ever.
they took your quitting, didn't fight for you. They just let you go.
Yeah, well,
Bloody arseholes.
yeah.
You
Did it
give
feel good?
someone 18 years, boys, and then you just...
Did that walkout feel good?
Yes, I said I've always wanted to say this, like the ad, like I effing quit.
Good
know,
on
it
ya.
was the best feeling.
You had
But
that
they
moment.
regretted it.
And no regrets. You went onwards and upwards. I
It
love
does
that.
feel good when you just... I quit on a promotions company once, and I just threw all the vouchers in the air and walked out of the shopping centre.
God, you're dramatic. That's awesome.
What do you got?
Oh, anonymous.
hang on.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Morning, guys.
This sounds good, juicy.
We've got to bring the cone of silence back for this. We've forgotten about this. We used to have a cone of silence. We would drop on the listener so only we can hear it.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. All right. What happened?
Hi, guys. I got a job, let's just say in the country at a hotel as a chef, and included in that was the accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a month trial, and it was a really great job, and the accommodation was great. It was new. And I decided that I'd go out one night to the RSL because it was a free courtesy van.
Uh-huh.
Had a few too many. Had a few too many because it was $2 drinks, and got the courtesy van home, come home, opened the door, got undressed, vomited everywhere, and then two people announced that it was not my house. I was 2 houses up.
Well, you just walked into some random's house and thrown up on the floor.
Yeah, because all the houses looked the same.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So that got you fired? Did they?
Yeah. They pretty much just said to me that I wasn't the right person for living out in the country, and that was that.
I think you sound like the perfect person. It sounds like someone who likes to have a good time, as long as you've got a mop and bucket the next day.
Exactly. It's an innocent mistake.
And then it's hard to knock back those courtesy buses. They got you there and back.
And $2 drinks.
I mean, that's a bargain in anyone's language.
I blame them.
We'd all be fired. All right, we got John from Capera. John, what happened?
Hey. Well, I got fired on my day off.
That takes some effort.
That is not easy to do.
But
right. So I used to work in a place called Burger King. So it's like Hungry Jack's, but in New Zealand they call it Burger King.
Yeah.
So I was going through on my day off on drive-through. I went through with a bunch of the boys in the car.
No.
And because they knew I worked there, they're like, "Oh, get someone to give us some free stuff, you know."
Give us the staff discount.
Yeah. So I ended up getting heaps of free burgers and that. And then the next day I got called in, which was still my day off, and I was thinking I was getting an extra shift, so I went in there with my uniform on and everything, and it was more for him to say, you're not coming back.
John, we want that uniform back, my friend. You're not worthy.
That's
Free
unreal.
burgers.
Well, my cousin,
shout the boys.
My cousin John worked at another joint, and he got sacked because they after 15 minutes back in the day, I don't know if it still happens. They got to get rid of him. They can't sit there on the thing, and they caught him out the back at the bin, eating the pig. It's best you leave, Tim.
All right, Mick, wrap us up. What happened to you?
All right, so I work in government, and I'd constantly get given the MC gig. You have to MC the awards or the get-togethers and stuff like that. And you can never really relax, So, and this year our staff awards were just before the Christmas party as well, so the timing was fantastic. And then had the staff awards just before I go up. The chairman was retiring, the chairman of the board, who happened to be a former Army Major General, retired. His name was Major General Richard.
Oh, no, I see where this is going already. Yep.
Yeah.
And just before I go up, they go, the Major General wants to have a couple of chairman's choices. So he's picking out a couple of people he wants an award for as well. I'm like, right, no worries. Like 2 minutes before we go up. I'm like, all right. And I'd got used to pushing the barrel a little bit like Nicky does as well. Anyway, and I've gone, all right, now we've got the final awards. The retiring chairman, wants to make a couple of selections. So what I refer to as Dick's Picks. And
there's nothing wrong with that. Come on.
No.
Well, you got nothing back from that.
There was silence for a little bit, then raucous laughter, and everyone loved it. I didn't actually get sacked from my job. I didn't have to buy a drink that night at all. And I got sacked from emceeing from there on in, so I never had to do it again.
It did you a favour.
That is a win. You got promoted, in other words.
Yes.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nicky Osborne podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Myre or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.